Friends, welcome to the official YouTube page of Everest IAS Academy. So today we are going to discuss February 10, 2020 Hindu newspaper analysis from the UPSC Prelims 2020 point of view. So the first article which came in the headlines is Jammu and Kashmir administration offers investors uninterrupted internet and Wi-Fi access. Basically friends, this article is coming in the backdrop of revoking of Article 370 status for the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now the state of Jammu and Kashmir has been made into Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory and Ladakh Union Territory. So as part of that, now our union government is promoting various, it is encouraging the various private investors to come and invest in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So as part of that, they came out with a recent IT policy document. So as part of that, what they are planning is that Jammu and Kashmir government is actually planning to open 2 IT parks in this IT policy, and they are actually going to give a land area of around 5 lakh square feet. So this land area will be given in Jammu and Srinagar. So that they will provide all the better infrastructure like broadband connectivity and Wi-Fi access will be provided to them. So this is going to be a big initiative from the Jammu and Kashmir government now. In addition to that, what are the facts? What they are saying to their advantage is that they are having a very good quality air compared to other metro cities in the country, and even the crime rate is comparatively lower in the state, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So in addition to that, as part of the policy, they have also included the real estate policy, where the government is basically promoting various housing related infrastructure projects, especially in the Jammu and Kashmir. Till now friends, we had a problem because when Article 370 was there, Jammu and Kashmir was having a special status. There were a lot of problems because people from residents from other states, they cannot go and become a permanent residents in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. One more thing is they cannot buy any properties. So these were the problems which were there before. Now this has been removed. That's why now they are promoting this business. So as part of real estate promotion, what they are doing is that they are giving 20% reservation, especially to the housing projects, to have focus upon economically weaker sections and low income groups. So these are the parts of this recent IT policy, friends. Next article is country's first darknet narcotics operative held. Friends, from the prelims point of view, we should understand the basics of darknet that we will discuss. Basically, as part of that recent investigation and operation conducted by National Narcotic Control Bureau, they have found out a person who has done this narcotic scale with the help of a darknet, and the payment he has been paying through various digital currencies like Bitcoin, Litcoins, they have been used. One thing is why the officials were actually very difficult to trace these persons, because they do this all these business activities over the darknet, which is considered to be invisible or hidden internet platform. So that they will do narcotic scale, even pornography contents are exchanged over there, and all illegal activities are actually currently carried out in the dark web net platform only. One more thing is friends, like WhatsApp, they have this end-to-end encryption, so that intermediary cannot actually encrypt the data. So it is considered to be a much secure data transfer mechanism. So this is where the Narcotics Bureau now entered into that platform, and it was able to catch a person who was doing this trade, narcotics trade. So friends, we should understand there are 3 basic things which are related to this internet. One is the surface web. So surface web, second one is the deep web, and then third one is the darknet. So friends, basically all the social media platforms which we use, or any website which you want to search, and if you are getting through Google search engine, those comes under the surface web, so which can be accessed by everyone in the world. But there is one more concept which is called as deep web. So basically friends, this refers to, I can give an example for deep web is online banking services which you do. Normally if you go and search in the Google engines, we will not get such a platform. Otherwise what happens is that in addition to that, what they do is that when you go to access the website, it needs some credentials like username and password to access that particular data. So these things will not be, normally it will be skipped by search engines, because that site itself will ask the search engines to skip that particular website data. So these forms part of deep web, where actually credentials are needed to access it. So these 2 things can be accessed by normal public. There is a third thing which is called darknet, which is considered to be they are actually intentionally hidden, and they actually require some specialized browsers to access the platform, like Tor website. We need that. We need to install that software over that internet, and then we can access the particular darknet. Next article is novel coronavirus scare. Goa tourism industry put Chinese team visit on hold. Friends, as part of novel coronavirus, we have already discussed what are the problems which India has faced. So one is that we have already discussed in the recent times we are expecting a rise in prices of essential medicines because we are importing already raw materials of these medicines from China only. Second thing, we are facing one more problem, that is these are the negative problems. Second thing, one negative problem is that now the India's especially Goa tourism industry has been affected because we expected Chinese delegation, especially models we have invited, and to do a photo shoot so that we wanted to showcase to the Chinese population and about our culture and about the various tourism related attractive infrastructure in Goa. But now this is also creating a negative implication in tourism sector. And even we have discussed already, as part of coronavirus, many of the foreign tourists now preferring European countries rather than preferring Asian countries only. So these are the two negatives. But one positives we have discussed is this is also providing an opportunity for our textile industries, so that because till now they were dependent upon China only to to outsource the whatever market like for the textile related products. Now they are actually asking India to capitalize on this front. Now Indian industries, textile industries are also getting some orders regarding this front. Next article is the editorial article, searching for a solution. Basically here again they are talking about the recent Bodo Accord. This we have already discussed much in detail. As we know friends, Bodo Accord was first signed in 1993, then second during the Vajpayee time period 2003. That time it was named as Borderland Autonomous Council. Now it is named as Borderland Territorial Autonomous District. So this has been signed in 2020. Here they actually try to include wherever the areas where borders have been there, and they wanted to exclude wherever non-borders population are there. This they try to maximize this as part of this deal. So this is the current update regarding the Bodo Accords. Regarding to that only this particular article is discussing. And one more thing is also about National Demographic Front of Borderland, which was considered to be a terrorist organization. But in that we have two groups. One is the Progressive Group, second is the Nabla Group. With Progressive Group, recently only our government has signed a peace deal, but with respect to Nabla Group, which is held leader is a non-Bodo Songbit, still we are actually having a negotiation with them for the peace deal. So Nabla Group, still they are doing violent protest only. So as part of that Progressive Group, when we went for that peace deal, we have given some concessions. That is 1500 crore development package we have actually committed. And in addition to that, we are also given general amnesty for the militants who have done the heinous crimes, so that we told that heinous crimes will be reviewed, and we have given all these concessions for them. But if you see friends, what this particular author is saying means, in the Borderland only, if you see, till now the Bodo Autonomous Council has been actually predominantly, it has been dominated by only few groups, that is Borderland People's Front. Now actually what happens is that now we have actually included so many organizations only as part of the recent peace deal. That is all Bodo Students Union. They will also come and participate in the election. So there is a chance for intra as well as tribal that rivalry can arise. That's what this author is saying. Whatever peace agreement we have signed, we need to actually make sure it is continuing. So next article is a nation for the persecuted. Basically friends, in this article the author is particularly discussing about the Refugees Convention, that is the 1951 Refugee Convention. So basically friends, during the time of independence, our honorable Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, he refused to sign this 1951 Refugee Convention, saying that in case of India, already we are actually having refugees, we are giving refugees to Sri Lankan Tamils, Tibetans from China, as well as Chin minorities from Burma and Myanmar, and Hindus from Bangladesh and Pakistan. We are being so accommodated to all the refugees. So why should we have a binding obligation? Because this 1951 convention talks about legally binding obligations when we become part of this 1951 convention. So at that time, India, by saying this as a reason, we didn't sign that refugee convention. Regarding that only, this author is particularly criticizing India. In addition to that friends, why India didn't sign this convention means it is having one core principle, that is the principle of non-refoulement. So what does that mean means, suppose friends, let's take any refugees coming to India, and if he is seeking an asylum status in India means, so we cannot send him back to his own country where he is facing religious persecution. So we have to give him some secondary rights also. In addition to protection from religious persecution, we have to give asylum status, and in addition we have to give right to education, work and property. Suppose when we are part of this 1951 Refugee Convention, but India anyhow didn't accept this because it was very legally binding upon India. So in addition to that, one problem with India is that when these Rohingya refugees, recently one problem happened friends. Rohingyas as refugees, they reside in the state of Myanmar, that is the Rakhine state. So now what happened is that the predominant majority people in like Myanmar, they are actually Buddhist. Now what happened, this Buddhist army, especially Myanmar army, they went and violently attacked these Rakhine people and made this Rohingyas refugees to move out from that state. So it caused a lot of destruction to life and property of the Rohingya refugees. That's why they have migrated to Bangladesh, Myanmar. Like from Myanmar, they came to Bangladesh and even to India also. So India actually at that time, it wanted to deport all the refugees who came to India, saying that now the condition is much safer. But at that time, what happened is that this petition has been filed in the Supreme Court challenging the deportation of refugees. But Supreme Court itself refused to stay the deportation of like whatever the government is doing, it supported the Indian government decision only. It didn't go for a stay regarding that. So this has been criticized by this author, because India in particular, we are not saying this like the India is currently distinguishing any persons who is coming to India as only foreigners and refugees, but in refugees we are not properly classifying. We are only saying that illegal migrants only, because for Rohingyas only we are classified only them as illegal migrants and not under the category of refugees. And one more thing is, currently our government is predominantly driven by Hindutva ideology, and our Citizenship Amendment Acts also justifies to that ideology. And as part of that, now we are giving religious persecution citizenship status only to Hindus, persecuted Hindus, and we are actually purposefully discriminating Muslims minorities. And these Rohingyas Muslims, Rohingyas refugees, already they belong to the community of Muslims only. So that's also considered to be irritating factor for our government. That's why we have deported them very fast. That's what this author is saying, friends. So as part of that, what he is saying is that Myanmar government, whatever action it has done, deported that especially violent war it has done on that Rohingyas refugees, that particular case has been actually referred to the International Court of Justice, and whatever decision it has given, it is legally binding only. So International Court of Justice, it has now that petition has been filed by African country Gambia. So as part of that petition, the court has actually ordered the Myanmar state to protect the Rohingya refugees temporarily, because it said that genocide has been actually practiced by the Myanmar government. That is a large scale killing of people on the basis of religious discrimination. But still our Indian government has actually didn't consider Rohingyas as refugees, only as illegal migrants. So this is our problem, friends. So what this particular author is saying is that in the meantime, actually we should not actually make these refugees forcefully to return to their country, and in addition we should give them the secondary rights like education, healthcare and livelihoods and buying of property. So next, let's discuss the basics regarding 1951 Refugee Convention. As of now, there are 145 member countries, and its headquarters is in Geneva, France, that is in Switzerland. So, and one more thing is, as we have discussed, the core principle is it is based upon non-refoulement only. That is, whoever refugees who are seeking asylum status in any countries and who are the member of this Refugee Convention, they have to protect them and they have to give secondary rights to them also. So that is the main binding obligation. And Convention, one exemption is that it does not recognize these war criminals as refugees. So whoever has classified as being refugees means they will be given like visa free travel to access the neighboring countries. So next is also editorial article. This talks about the Cheetah rebuilding process. So actually recently, based upon the Supreme Court judgment, we are actually planning to reintroduce cheetah in our country, because as of now it has been declared as extinct in our country. Main reason being, during the Mughal time period, lot of hunting has been done based upon like especially Akbar and various Mughal rulers. They have practiced hunting based upon these cheetahs. That's why it got into extinct. And now actually like during the 2000s only we start off actually plan to introduce the cheetah population in our country. But what happened is that time actually two problems happened. One thing is actually we plan to introduce in cheetah in India through technologies, two technologies. One is through cloning, second is like directly like translocating them. So that time we plan to buy this from transfer this or translocated this cheetah population from Iran only. But what Iran asked reciprocally from us, they wanted the Asiatic lion to be transferred to them. That India didn't oblige, because Asiatic lions are considered to be the pride of India and they don't want to go by that. And later what happened in 2012, we again planned to reintroduce this project, but that time Supreme Court actually didn't give it actually stayed the particular decision, saying that in case of India already like especially the state where they wanted to introduce is in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, where actually like especially in Madhya Pradesh we are the big 4 cats population, that is tiger, lion and then leopard, and then cheetah. So these are considered to be the four cats, big cats. So during the historical time in Madhya Pradesh only, all these cats, they have coexisted in that area. That's why we wanted to reintroduce in that area. But Supreme Court at that time said that like already there are a lot of threatened population in our country, like big cats. So we need to protect them. Then we can consider about reintroducing them. That's what they said. And after a period of 7 years now, like in 2020, they have actually approved the plan to actually reintroduce cheetahs. So our government is also taking some measures regarding that. As part of that, the Hindu author, what he is saying is that like whenever, like when we are reintroducing cheetah, we have to be very careful, because cheetahs, they basically prefer grassland ranges, and now like various industrial development we are doing, and mining, material extraction and mining development has been done close to protected areas, and when we do all this mining related infrastructure work, it will actually lead to habitat fragmentation. So there is a less probability for them to survive. In addition, man-human conflict also arising in case of India, so we need to keep a check on that. That's what this author is saying. One more main problem with cheetah is they are considered to be genetically fragile. Why? Because they will actually lose their cubs. They will reproduce the cubs in like it will take normally longer time compared to other cats. And one more thing is the whatever cubs which are coming, they are also like prematurely died. That's why we need to safeguard this, especially the cheetahs, when we reintroduce in India. Next article is seeking an more progressive abortion law. Basically friends, this is an opinion page article where they talk about medical termination of pregnancy act. Initially it was done during the time period of Indira Gandhi government in 1971. Later an amendment has been now proposed in the parliament, and they are planning to reintroduce it in 2020. So soon it is going to be tabled in the parliament. That time actually we have given the time period for abortion. That is the first time we have legalized abortion, saying that up to 20 weeks we can legally go for abortion practices. But now what happened is that there are a lot of problems which are frequently now happening in India, mainly with respect to sexually related rape cases, where women go into when they face rape, they go into pregnancy. So that time when they wanted to abort that particular child, they need to actually approach the High Court or Supreme Court separately. So because of these complications, now our union government is going for a proposal. They have introduced to like increase the time period to 24 weeks, especially for two categories of women only. One is the rape victim, second is the vulnerable woman category. So vulnerable woman categories refers to physically disabled women as well as the minor children. So this is the recent update. As part of that, this particular author is very much criticizing some of the measures. What this author is mainly saying means the government is actually still laying its predominant decision making regarding abortion is actually given to healthcare providers like doctors, rather than women having an autonomy over her body decision. So her decision making is considered to be very poor. So the government is actually officially, they are not recognizing the woman's right to make a bodily decisions upon her body. So it is going to create additional mental stress on the woman. And one more thing, what this author is saying is that, as we have discussed, it does not allow abortion on request, because they have to go through the follow procedures. Because the pregnancy is up to 12 weeks, one registered medical practitioner approval is needed, and if the pregnancy is up to 20 weeks means it needs 2 registered medical practitioners approval. So there is a set of procedures, and only once they approve, they can go for this proper procedure. So one more thing is, what is the final problem what this particular author is saying is that this is only available for only special categories of women, and it is not including especially the woman who is going to have a child born with any deformities. Those child born deformities can be now, due to technological advancement, we can trace the child deformities during the pregnancy time only. Suppose if they are doing it beyond 20 weeks means now they cannot go for legalizing abortion, because now the time permit is only up to 20 weeks, child related deformities. So that will create mental stress for the woman only. So that's what this author is saying. In addition, he is quoting the Supreme Court judgment where this woman's right to reproductive charges and decision regarding abortion has been included under Article 21 only, under right to life and personal liberty. And one more thing is, this also comes under the domain of right to privacy, and this has already been included as a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution, based upon K.S. Puttasamy versus Union of India 2017 case. That's why this author is suggesting we should make use of these provisions and implement the law, because whatever the Supreme Court judgment has been given, we are actually laws are failing to follow those rights. Next article is India-Bangladesh rail link to be ready by 2021. Basically friends, our government is planning to go for a railway infrastructure between India and Bangladesh, that is between Agartala in Tirupura to Akura. So this we are planning to open by 2022 on our 75th anniversary of independence. So that's what this article is all about. As part of that, regarding the Indian side, the projects will be taken care by the Ministry of Northeastern region, whereas that those areas which comes under the especially Bangladesh region, that will be taken care by the Ministry of External Affairs. So this is the Agartala to Ankura region. Reason being, friends, why we need to construct this particular railway line is because our government is thinking to promote connectivity to the northeast. The reason is currently we have only the chicken snake. So using that chicken snake, we say near the Siliguri corridor in the West Bengal, that is the only narrow corridor through which we can access the northeastern region. That's why already we are having a problem in connectivity to the northeast. So that's why we are facing problems in trade related issues also. Now through this railway line, we can also connect it to the Bangladesh port, and we can transport it with the help of the port, we can trade directly to Kolkata port. This is the idea of this particular scheme. Next article is fourfold jump in lithium-ion batteries imported since 2016. Basically, friends, India is considered to be one of the largest importer of lithium-ion batteries in the world, and these lithium-ion batteries has been mainly used for electric vehicles, cell phones. So various even ISRO also uses this lithium based vehicle charges these batteries. Now the recent updates regarding this is, as part of that, recently our Central Electrochemical Institute, which is placed in Karaikudi, and then this comes under the domain of CSIR and Rasi Solar Power Limited. They have collaborated and they have actually planned for a transfer of technology for developing India's first lithium-ion based battery project. Even our government is having a separate plan for that. That is the National Mission on Transformative Mobility and Battery Storage. This is the plan under which our government is promoting and making big investment around $1.4 billion. So to make India as a big manufacturing hub for electric vehicles by 2040. For that, these lithium ions we are actually promoting through various indigenous technologies and making collaboration with international arena also, because international countries only currently have the patent rights. So friends, basically this lithium-ion battery is considered to be a rechargeable battery. That's the main advantage. That's why we can use in electric vehicles and portable electronics, and military and aerospace applications are also more. But why the problem India is still lagging in this means, basically the first main problem is technology. Till now India didn't have the technology, but currently only the CSIR under SICRI has developed that particular technology. And one more problem is the variability. Whatever we are testing, it's only at the lab level, and there is a lot of still problems will happen when we go and test at the actual commercial production. For that only we need some collaboration at an international level. That's what our government is planning. Till now we didn't have a policy factor to be favorable for our government, but now after the BJP government came into being, it is actively promoting this national mission on this mobility, as we have discussed, transformative mobility and battery storage. Thank you friends. Kindly subscribe to our channel. If you have any doubts, please post your doubts in the comment section.